What's good, y'all? So many people covering this Nolan Wells thing, but I came across this and thought I had to bring it to you. Nerdy Pink Panda 1 on TikTok goes in on this. And apparently she released some information that was so sensitive that they didn't allow her to post it. And then there's also a Snapchat discrepancy, which the mom of one of the friends spoke on, and it doesn't jive with the original story of what they did with Nolan's phone. So let's get to it.
Boy, they really didn't want you to see this video because they made it ineligible immediately so you wouldn't see it. So let's go through a speed run of the information. We can now definitively say that this is Jax. We can also now definitively say that this is Morgan. He's wearing the same hat as well as the same bracelets. So where were they on the Triton? Now that we've got a much clearer video thanks to Officer Tatum, it's obvious that there is nobody in an orange swimsuit or a paisley swimsuit on this boat. We also barely see that there's somebody here in the red shorts. Now in this Katie Snapchat picture, I've been saying that there was somebody in the background here wearing red shorts. So I pumped up the exposure and as you can see, it certainly looks like it. They seemingly have similar body types as well as similar hairlines. We also know that whoever was in the red shorts was also on the shoreline when the fight broke out. Now who was involved in that fight? Warren's brother, Carter. Carter, who trains in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And by Warren's own admission, his brother put someone in an arm bar. And in case you don't know what that looks like, go ahead and look at that placement on the back of the head there. Spot look familiar? Given Carter's height, build, body type, this looks like it could be him. But one blurry underexposed picture is not solid proof of anything, right? But we know Warren grabbed his younger brother and had him come over hang out with them on their boat as they were sinking or whatever. And it would be pretty bad for their case if this was Carter on the Triton and then on Katie's boat at 6 o'clock. But now my attention turns to this person who a lot of people think is Bart. But in his hand, he is holding a cell phone. So I thought, why would Bart jump from his boat to the other boat holding a cell phone when other people have cell phones in their hands while Wyatt is on the phone in the picture? So while I was trying to compare pictures of Bart to the person on the boat that I can't identify, I found this picture with him with a tattoo from about 2 years ago. And it wasn't until just today that I stopped looking at the tattoo and I started looking at his wrist. Because someone in the background of this picture has always stuck out to me because my instinct always was like, is that Bart? Bart seemingly has a pretty pronounced mullet as according to this picture. But this was definitely not on Bart's boat. I checked the seating and the covers, like it's not Bart's boat. Now I think you pretty much get where I'm going with this because then I remembered this bracelet. Pretty unique bracelet. Unique like the bracelet that Bart Jr. was wearing in that tattoo picture. And right here looks like it might be the tail end of a tattoo that wraps around the forearm, right in the same place that it would be on Bart. I've said for a while now that the story about them calling Bart that morning to go out on the boat never made sense, because what 21-year-old didn't already have plans for 4th of July? So then the question is, who is driving Bart's boat? Which brings me back to this guy who some people have thought looked like Bart. However, we do know that he was on Bart's boat handing out drinks to people in that 7-second clip we've seen. Same hair, same glasses, same hat. By the way, did y'all know that Bart has a younger brother? The family resemblance is very striking. I mean, the real difference is that he's a little bit shorter and has a squarer jaw. And does anybody want to guess what his younger brother's name is? Brooks. Now, I seem to remember, and I can't remember exactly the context, a certain somebody talking in an interview about his buddy Brooks. Here's your reminder to check out my bio if you want to support my work.
All right, we're going to let that marinate for a second. Did y'all peep the interview and the body language? A lot of people covered the interview, but check out this body language.
On the floor or something, or scrambling around, or everybody in a pot, like in a small space on the boat looking at him or something. I mean, it's just so crazy to think that. Why would we call a safe space on the boat looking at him or something? I mean, it's just so crazy.
Wait, so it turns out the Snapchat information is really the key to bust this case wide open. Nolan's friend's mom just came out speaking on something that was odd with the Snapchat location her son and Nolan shared. This is crazy. Listen to this. Tell me what you think, but I'm going to tell you what don't make sense about this situation. and I don't like it. Listen.
Now, here's the weird thing to me. This is what stands out to me the most. When we found out that Nolan was missing, my son immediately snapped him, and then Christine messaged him back and said, "I have Nolan's phone now." This was at 12:53, according to the screenshot that I have. This was at 1:53 in the morning. Okay. Mm-hmm. So he, for whatever reason, I don't know if he was gonna. I don't know why he took the screenshot. To be honest with you, I think it was maybe even a God thing. But he took a screenshot of Nolan's location on Snapchat because they shared locations with each other. And on that screenshot, it shows Nolan basically in the middle of the Gulf, like right off of Horn Island. It said that he had been at that location for 13 hours, which would make sense if you just back up that timeline. That would make sense around the time that they would have arrived at the island. But what was weird was that his location didn't change. It said that he was last active an hour prior to that. And my son, I think it said it was like 53 minutes that 53 minutes prior to that my son had sent him a snap. So
we have new breaking news on the Nolan Wells story. And there seems to be some contradictions, because now his lawyer is saying they're flying the body back, they're going to get an independent autopsy, and that there are text messages missing from his cell phone. Now, when they're talking cells, they're not talking about text messages, they're talking about his Snapchat. All his Snapchat stories are gone. Any videos of him on the island or anything like that have disappeared. Also, his mom has spoken. And in the original stories, they said his friends returned his cell phone. That's not what she's saying. She said she had to use Live 360 to track it to the friend's house. Also, the fact that she's never known Nolan to ever separate from his friends when he's out somewhere. She says she finds that extremely unusual. But so the story is changing as it goes on. So now the big...
So with all this going on, you got your boy Tatum over there interviewing people, and they're blaming Nolan Wells' mom and her social media posts for why they're receiving so much backlash for looking shady and for the public sentiment on a possible cover-up. According to the friend Jax, she fueled the online animosity that they've received. The fact that their identity was out there, even though we had all types of pictures, as though they could relate to a parent losing a child and what that must do to a person's mind. Bottom line, man, it's a shit show, so we'll see how it turns out, man. The saga continues. It's your boy Dell, Second Take. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Till next time, man. We out.